Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is Randy Dyck here on the Return on Life podcast. And I have a topic today that I hope doesn't scare you. It is a topic that happens to us each and every day. Every day we go through this, yet some of us embrace it. Some of us love it. Some of us over embrace while others avoid it. It's called change. What do you do with change and how do you react to change and what does change do for you? And so we're going to talk about embracing change today on the podcast. It is really about getting a return on life, right? So if you like what you're hearing, you like this podcast, you think this content is worthy, hit the subscribe button. Come on, hit that subscribe button now and stay tuned for all things return on life, the ROL, hashtag ROL. I'm excited to share about this because change is something that I enjoy, that I love, and I think maybe I'm addicted to change. Are you addicted to change? I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you are. So I'm going to open up a bit of a slide deck because I want to use some slides here today and walk through this whole process of change. And it sounds like such a simple topic, but when we dig deep into it, it is quite complex. It is quite a complex topic, and there's a lot of things going on that we maybe should know more about. So here we go. Let's dig into this. Ignite the shift. What does that mean? Well, ignite the shift. And you see these two snowboarders. Of course, change means changing direction. It means shifting. It means adjustments. And every day we have to make adjustments. We have to think about, what about this? What about that? Should I change this? Should I not change that? Should I embrace it? And when you edge on a snowboard or a pair of skis and you do it effectively, that shift of momentum or energy is powerful and it slingshots you. In fact, if you do it right and use the edge right, you actually speed up. You get more energy because you use the energy in the board, or in our case, the change. Now, conversely, what happens if you catch an edge? Wham, you're down, and it can affect you in a great way. So change can be an incredible motivator, incredible thing to give you energy, slingshot you, so to speak, or it can send you down. And I don't know about you, but I've been slammed pretty good on a snowboard when I've caught an edge before, and that hurts. That does hurt. So anyways, we're going to talk today about the embrace of change, embracing change, and how to use it to your best and most favorable situations. I love this Simon Sinek quote. Creativity is the art of finding a new route to a known destination. And sometimes that destination is even unknown, I would say. But creativity is the art of finding a new route, which is really about, change. Are you willing to be open to creativity to find a different way or a new route to a destination? Ask yourself that question and ponder on it. Some do, some don't. Do you embrace change? And we're going to talk about personality types that will definitely change that up. So before we get into that, let's just define what change means. And change can mean many, many different things. But in this case, change is not just a shift in direction or a carve of the snowboard. It's a disruption in identity. It's a disruption in your identity, a test of wiring, and an invitation to grow, whether we ask for it or not. So change can be one of those things where, oh my goodness, like it is going to change direction. It's going to disrupt my identity. And we're going to get into identity in a big way here, and the test of your own wiring. Another one is change equals a transition from the known to the unknown. We already talked about that, but sometimes it's the known to the unknown. Are you willing to make an adjustment without knowing what is coming? Does that scare you, or does that invigorate you? A transition from the known to the unknown. And how about this one? It can be chosen or a forced event. Chosen means it's strategic. Yes, strategically, we should move this direction. Or it's forced. You have to do it. Something's come up, a tragic situation, or an unknown thing enters your world, and through circumstances, you're forced to change. Jim Collins writes about this in his book, Good to Great. And many, many companies that had the most success had the most unluck, not luck, but they were the most unlucky. Forced circumstances caused them to make changes, which caused them to improve on who they were and what they did. Maybe that's it. And then the last one here, the last definition that I have, it always creates tension between who we were, who we are, and who we are becoming. It creates this tension between who we are, who we were, and who we are becoming. Deep stuff. This thing called change. Are you going to embrace it? Huh? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So when I ask you this word, or when I share this word with you, or you hear this word, what's your gut reaction? The word change. What is your gut reaction? Is it excitement? Whoa, that's so thrilling. Or is it like, oh my goodness, it's anxiety. I can't do this. I'm suffocating. I can't breathe. Is that what change does for you? How about curiosity? Curiosity. Ooh, I love curiosity. Curiosity is what really drives so much of who I am. And are you curious? Does this get you curious when you say there's change coming? There is a change coming. When somebody says, stands up at the front of whatever business or at a rally of some sort and says, change is coming. Is that curiosity? Is that anxiety? Is that excitement for you? Or are you going, oh no, I'm resisting this? What is it for you when you hear the word change? What do you do? What do you do? You tell me. Hey, I want you to type into the chat line right now, what word is that word that when you hear the word change is your gut reaction? Is it excitement, anxiety, curiosity, resistance? And while you're doing that, hey, hit the subscribe button as well. Go hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get at it. Come on. So, has anyone ever begged for change? Have you begged for change? And then, gosh, why did I do that? I don't want it. You resist it when it arrives. Have you done that? Have you begged for change? Oh gosh, I wish. I got a great story. My sister-in-law and my brother were getting married, and it was pouring rain. This is in April, and it was just dumping rain. And she said, gosh, if it would just snow a little bit, just, a little bit of snow just to take the mud away would be awesome. Well, guess what? She got her wish. She asked for change, and we woke up with 2.5 feet of snow. There you go. So be careful what you ask for, because you never know what you're going to get. So have you ever begged for change and then when it arrived, you didn't want it? Well, here's a pro athlete, Mr. Phelps. Michael Phelps, one of the most decorated Olympians ever, 28 medals, 23 of them gold. Think about that. Think about being at that level as an individual, crushing it day in, day out, day in, day out. The pool, competitions, swimming and swimming and swimming. And that is all you know. And you end up getting 28 Olympic medals, 23 gold. And it drives you to an incredible state. So at one point, you could say this: everyone wants transformation until they realize it requires a trade-in of identity. So Michael wanted to be known as the world's best swimmer ever, the most decorated Olympian ever. And that's what he aimed for. That's what he worked for. That's what he swam for. And one day he became that person, the most decorated, and he got everything he wanted in that identity. And then he was done swimming. And he said, I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be an Olympic swimmer. I want to be somebody else. And he transitioned. But here's the deal. He went through depression. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know what he was. He didn't know where he was, because all he knew was that identity, and he had to trade it in. It was required for him to trade it in because he wanted transformation until he realized he needed to trade in that identity. He struggled with it. So what are you struggling with? What is the identity piece that you're struggling with? And identity is one of those things that really gives us that piece of confidence. See, there's 3 boxes of identity, and it's tied to our ego, and it's tied to how we feel about ourselves. And there's that first box of bravado. You know, that guy, that gal with a great big ego, and they're just like in your face about everything. That's a very, very weak sense of identity. That's bravado identity, bravado ego. And then there's this middle section, which is where we all land. And it's all of these identities that we hold and cling on to. So for Michael Phelps, that was swimming. Did he have any other pieces of identity? I'm not sure. I don't know Michael personally, but I'm guessing that almost his entire being was wrapped up in the identity of being a world-class athlete, a world-class swimmer, an Olympic champion of magnitude. But here's the deal. If we have everything of our identity matrix, this is the matrix, and it's all about swimming, and Michael has nothing else, the moment that piece is taken out, or he says, I want to make change, I don't want to be that swimmer anymore, what's left? His identity disappears. His confidence disappears because that is all he has. So here's a bit of a lesson outside of wanting change, embracing change, is that you need to have many layers and levels of identity in this box. You could be a great cook. You could be a great gamer. You could be a great athlete. You could be a great entrepreneur. You could be a phenomenal checker player. You could be a great grandfather, a great mother, great father. All of these fit into that box of identity. And if they're balanced, one can disappear. You could actually have something disappear, like your health disappear, but it's only one piece of that identity. You could take the cooking out of it, or you could move away and you're no longer that accessible grandfather. But as long as you've got many pieces to your matrix, your identity and your confidence and who you are stays intact because you haven't diminished your entire being of identity. Now, Michael Phelps' place, I believe, and I don't know this for certain, but I just believe that a lot of his identity was wrapped on being that Olympic athlete. And when that disappeared, it was all gone. So remember, transformation, until they realize it requires a trade-in. He had to trade in all of that for transformation. And I'll say loosely, quickly, there's one other piece, and this is the piece outside of identity that is the true self, your true known being. That's where your loved ones couldn't care what you do. They just know you as is. You're enough, whatever you are. That's the last piece. And we're not really talking about that today, but just was a really a good sidebar piece to that. So let's get back into change. And the core ideas about change are this. People don't resist change. They resist the loss of control. Hey, why do people not want to give up? Or why do they not want to change? Because they don't want to give up control. Control. Who's done that besides me? I like having control in some things. And the moment I say change, I'm going to lose some of that. The other one is every change has a price. Michael Phelps had a huge price. Comfort, certainty, ego, and even his relationships. Think about all of those changes he had to give up when he gave up his Olympic swimming identity. Massive. And how about this one? If you avoid change, your capacity, the trophies, basically you stop having the opportunity to grow possibly. And if you overindulge in change, which I can do sometimes, my personality likes change, I can actually risk burning out. Have you ever done that? I'm sure there's some people on here that are very de-oriented and shiny object stuff, and that's why you overindulge in change and you risk burning out. And then the last one is change isn't always timed well, but mindset can be trained to meet it well. So this is about training your mind, because change comes, adversity happens to us all. It's coming at us at Mach 3 all the time. Adversity, adversity, adversity. And this is where I talk about adversity stacking. So we have a resilient shield for when that happens. So change is always going to happen. We don't know when it's coming, but if our mindset is prepared and trained for it, we will meet it well. Yeah, core ideas about change. So are you ready? Are you ready to embrace change? That's the really big question. That's the question I asked off the top. And if you are, well, fantastic. Change is happening all around you. It's happened to you as we speak. The only question left is this: will it happen through you? You decide. And if it is going to happen through you. You're going to be a big piece of that. You're going to be part of that. You're going to be engaged in that. But if you don't want it to go through you, it's going to go around you. And that change, well, could leave you behind. That change could leave you out in the cold. That change, well, could just be that opportunity that you've been waiting for, but you weren't willing to let it go through you. Here's the question. Should all change be good change? I'm not sure. Let's go on. So the spectrum of change can be the over-embracer, which I talked about myself. Sometimes I can be the over-embracer. Then there's the balanced spectrum of change. Are you in the balanced mode? Yes or no? And then there's the last one that just fights it tooth and nail. Stubbornness against change. Does anybody know anybody like that? Yes. Actually, you probably know somebody in every one of those categories, every one of those categories. So how do you usually respond to change? What is that? Is it dive head first? I do that too much sometimes. Analyze, overthink. Not me. How about you? Freeze or delay? Avoid. Oh boy, this one really, really catches a lot of people off guard. Avoid until forced. You know you need to change, but you won't change. And until somebody actually pushes you over the edge or something just dramatic happens, that is when you make the change. Hey, write in the comments right now, which one of these is most like you? Dive head first, analyze, overthink, freeze, delay, avoid until you're forced, cautiously adapt over time. Hey, which one of these is you? And again, I'd love you to be a subscriber. Come on, get in there. Hit that subscribe button today. We're on all the channels, all the podcast channels. Love for you to be a regular subscriber to our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get personal here. Let's get into the bank personality lens. And really, a lot of this can be summed up by our own personalities. And I love the bank personality lens because it really is so easy to understand. And it is about, the blueprint, the action, the nurture, the knowledge, the BANK. And of course, blueprint, we're going to walk through each one of these because it's going to help define who you are as somebody that will embrace change. And so this is what it looks like. Here's the code, the initial reaction, the resistance type, and then the embracing strategy. So if you're blueprint, man, you're going to pause, plan. You're going to I got to figure this out before I move another millisecond or a milli-inch. Overwhelmed, control, that is your resistance. And you need checklists, man. You need timelines and checklists. You are a busy, busy body when it comes to figuring this out. Then there's the A or action, which is me. And that's the guy that is excited. Oh, and then I get distracted by things. Come on, let's be honest. That's maybe you. In fact, many, many entrepreneurs really have this action personality trait. Super excited. Let's go. Let's get it done. Resistant type, loss aversion. Just get it done. Let's go. And you gamify it. Oh man, I love to gamify things and I love rewards when I accomplish whatever I said I would get out to do. So that is action. Nurture. Any nurturers out there? Hey, emotional concern. How you doing? Let's make sure you get it right. And you have the tribe influence. Come on, people, let's all come together and do this together. By the way, this is my second personality trait. Action, then nurture. And let's tie a purpose to this people thing. So this is what I do in making changes or embracing changes. I want to make sure that there's an emotional connection, that it's working for everybody, and I'm going to tie it to a purpose or to people. And last is knowledge. You're an overthinker. You're skeptical. You need to know about the future because you're scared. You're afraid of the future. And then you need data and models to give you confidence. Which one of these profiles are you? Because that helps you understand how you're going to respond to change. That's going to help you. And of course, I want to build in some sort of action steps for you. So when you're thinking about change, and if you struggle with change, maybe you're one of those people that is a blueprint or a knowledge person, you're going to struggle with change. So let's rewire and put a framework into it. And framing things is so important. When we can frame something, we can put it in a box. Okay, I get that, which is especially important for blueprint and knowledge. And even the nurturer needs this a bit. The action, let's just go. Let's just go. So let's walk this out. Let's talk as if it's a real live experience situation. And maybe that is something about yourself. You've been telling yourself a story and you're too busy, let's say, to prioritize going and getting fit, your workouts. You're way, way too busy to get healthy. At least that's what you tell yourself. And this is a bit of a call out. This is a proactive belief, but not a truthful one. So that is recognizing that, you need to get fit. Then you want to go to the examining stage and you need to question your story. And is this a belief? Is it true? Is it familiar? So when I examine it, I realize that I have a lie wrapped up in logic. I'm not too busy. That's true. You're not too busy to get healthy, to work out. I got to make it a priority. So you question the story and you come to an understanding. And then you need to write or install that new belief. So that new belief is, here's my new belief. My health is the foundation that powers everything I care about. You need to sign a new belief. Write and sign a new belief. And of course, you can say at that point, I can't even serve others if I'm running on empty. So write out your new belief. And then, of course, we need to integrate it into making it personal. And so how do you do that? Well, I make this mine and it sticks. And so depending on your bank code, it is quite different. So the bank code examples could be, I could create a simple morning structure. If I'm a blueprint, if I'm action, I got to gamify it. How am I going to gamify it? If I'm a nurture, I'm going to walk with a friend and turn it into a connection, or I'm going to go to the gym with a friend and I'm going to make a connection. And if it's knowledge, I'm going to use the database tracker and watch my improvements. That's how you integrate it through understanding and knowing your bank personality principles. Okay, then we got to rehearse, reinforce it daily, and set your calendar as a reminder. Speak my new belief out loud daily. And I even have sticky notes all over my mirrors. Reinforce it daily and it will serve you well. And make sure you've got that daily anchor. And then, of course, you got to go and execute, which is probably the hardest thing of all. But take micro actions to execute on it. Don't wait for the motivation. Just go and do it. So today you just say, I'm going to commit to 20 minutes of movement no matter what. Do it, do it, do it. And you can even close out with this. It's not about overhauling your life in one day. It's about proving to yourself you can choose differently even once. So go and get that. And maybe here's one more. The old you is going to try and make a comeback tomorrow. That's why we don't just shift mentally. We rehearse it physically. So get out there and reframe, rewire yourself. Okay, so that's how you make change happen. And of course, we can apply it to the bank profiling system, blueprint, build a schedule, rule, make it competition, make it a matter to others on the nurturing side, and the knowledge, build a system or a scorecard. Pretty simple. Awesome. So we're going to close out with this. Matthew McConaughey, of course, an incredible actor, but there was a moment in his career that he said, I need to make a change. I need to do something other than rom-coms. Those romantic comedies, they're paying the bills, but they're not who I am. And so he needed to change it up. And he did that. He embraced it and made a significant change to what he was doing. And this is a quote that I came up with. Change doesn't threaten your identity. It reveals it. So what he did by shifting and changing from rom-coms, he found out his true self. What are you not changing that you think is threatening your identity, but it's not? It's going to reveal your true self. Change doesn't threaten your identity. It reveals it. It reveals your true identity. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to encourage you to think about that. And if there's something that you think you need to share for somebody to hold you accountable, I want you to write in the comments right now what you think you're being threatened about. What's your identity that is being threatened, and what do you think could be revealed if you allow change to happen? Do that right now. Come on. And of course, we'd like you to be a subscriber. Well, I'm going to close out with this slide here. This is a powerful slide. Thoman breaks world record with 254.5 meter ski jump. Look at that, man. He is committed. He is all in. And if you know anything about ski jumping, stand at the top of this massive, massive tower. And once you start, there is no way out. There's no exit. There's no off ramp. It is all the way down. And you're 100% committed. Then when you leave the ramp, again, you have to have full commitment, and you have to be feeling like you are the king of the air. You're the eagle of all eagles, because if you give up on that stance, it's going to throw you back and toss you, and you're going to have a horrible, horrible crash. So here's my challenge to you. Choose one shift. Choose one change. Embrace one change. Commit all in, all in. Then go and share it with somebody and saying, you are committing to this, and then go out and execute. Go and execute. There is nothing greater than that when you execute. Hey, thanks for following me here on Return on Life podcast. I really appreciate you for being here. I want you to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button there today. And I really encourage you, embrace change. There's so much waiting on the other side. Shift one big change in your life, then choose to do it, then share it, and then execute on it. Hey, thanks for checking in with me here. Thanks for following me on Return Life Podcast. Please hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a regular person to watch, listen, and follow us. And I appreciate you all.